Yo, Elliott, any advice on raising young men? I have a 10-year-old son and a 5-year-old son. Nutrition, training, etc. Anything that you would recommend off the top of your head? Both my boys train in martial arts. They are both coordinated athletic kids. They are both hyper and like to mess with each other and tend to get into a lot of trouble with their mama. I think that's normal, though. It sounds like you're doing a really good job, by the way, man. It sounds like you're doing an awesome job. You got two sons. They're doing the right thing in terms of being fit, exercising, and being boys. And it sounds like they have a great dad, and it sounds like they got a great mom too. They're getting in trouble with their mom. One thing though that I just want to throw out there. Today is my son's birthday. My son just turned 11, and I'm going to get a little personal here for a moment, and maybe it's something that will relate to you guys as well, and that's why I share it. But last night, my wife was, saying, "Oh, my big boy is going to grow up. He's growing up. He's going to be 11." And then she started to get like a little whimpery, like a woman would, like a mom would. "Oh, my big boy is growing up." Boo boo. And then she started to say stuff like, "Oh, I don't want you to grow up. I wish you would stay little forever. Oh, I wish you would be my little boy forever." And as a boy, as a son, I could see on his face like almost like a little, like not sure, like, I want to grow up, but I don't want to disappoint mommy. And so I had to shout across the room. I said, "Benjamin, forgive your mother." And I'm not calling my wife out at all, because this is a woman's nature. This is it's a part of her darker nature that she doesn't understand, and all women deal with it, where with their sons, in particular, with their sons, they have a hard time letting go. And my son is the youngest, right? The youngest. So she's struggling a lot because he's the only boy, and he's also the youngest. So for her, it's a matter of, wow, like, I'm not going to be a mommy to little children anymore. This is my last one. I hope he doesn't grow up. And she's joking in a way, but at the same time serious, by saying, "Oh, don't grow up. I wish you will stay my little boy forever." Part of the problem with that, though, and she knows because I called her out right away. Part of the problem with that, though, is that as a little boy, he doesn't want to disappoint his mom. No boy wants to disappoint his mom, especially he's got a good mom. He's got a great mom. So he wants to do what mom wants him to do, right? And and I didn't like it, and that's why I shouted across the room. I said, "Forgive your mother." In other words, I was telling Colleen, stop it. It kind of destroys the way the boy evolves, because not only is it a struggle to be a young man, not only is it already a struggle to be a boy in this world, and especially today when there's so much gender confusion and there's confusion about what it is to be a man, but then to have moms not understand and do and say things that come from their nature, without trying to be bad, without not necessarily trying to hurt their sons. They just don't know any better, or they can't help themselves sometimes, and they keep the little boy trapped. Moms have a tendency to keep boys trapped. There's a really, really good book called He, right? And I think the subtitle is the evolution of the masculine, something like that. It was written by a neo-Jungian, and he follows the story of the Fisher King. This is really interesting stuff. Listen up. So the story of the Fisher King is it starts out with a little boy named Parsifal. Robert Johnson. Thank you, Matt. A little boy named Parsifal, and he's living in a one-room hut with his mom because his dad died. And so he must be about, I don't know, preteen, 12, 13 years old, whatever. And he's playing out in front of the yard. His mom's inside doing mom stuff, maybe preparing something nice for him, or making his bed, or folding his underwear, something that a good mom would do. And outside, he's playing, and he sees these horses coming with men in armor, swords and shiny armor, and they're sitting they're riding these horses, and he sees them go by, and he's struck with awe. Whoa. And he knows in his instinct in that moment that that's what I want. That's who I am. I must follow those men. And so, as the story goes, long story short, he goes inside and he explains to his mom what he saw. and she is torn. She's heartbroken. She's like, no, 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 you can't. Like, she's struggling with this, but she knows she has to let go, and thus Parsifal leaves. Now, as the story goes, when Parsifal leaves, mommy dies. His mom dies. And it's a sad situation, sad story, but before he left, she gave him a little sweater to wear, some garment to put under his clothes. And so he always carried around that little mommy part of him, right? And at some point he struggles and he has to deal with that as well, the death of his mother, maybe the guilt thereof. But the whole point of the story is that it is essential in order for a boy to become a man that he dies to his mommy's love. Mommy's love cannot help you when you become a man. Mommy's love will only keep you a boy. Just like my wife. I have a good wife. She's a great mother. It's just in their nature. And the better the mother, the more it's in her nature, meaning she wants to care for her children. But it is not resourceful for the boy. And of course, Colleen knows this as well, and she said it after I corrected her, that I know I'll have to let go at some point. I love my boy. Okay, good. Just don't say dumb shit like that. Anyway, the point of the story is that a boy has to, and I'm saying this because of you, and you're doing a great job, and you say that he gets in trouble with their moms a little bit, and I think that's okay, because at some point they have to cut that apron string from the mother. Otherwise, the boy stays perverted in his growth. He'll never grow up. He'll never become a man without, and you see this happen. This is actually 90% of so-called men today are still mama's boys. I know I was up until I was about 27. I remember specifically around the age of 27 when I realized, whoa, I have way too much mommy attachment, and I've never really atoned with my father. And some sort of evolution happened within me where there was a distance from my mother, and then there was an atonement, right? An attraction to my father. Like, I want to know my father better now. So that will happen naturally, but as parents, we can help facilitate that by recognizing its necessity. Also, if you read the book Iron John by Robert Bly, he speaks heavily about this mommy-son attachment and its negative consequences, as well as how if men don't come in and step, like I had to step in yesterday, if men don't step in and create that, help the boy create that space from his mother, right? Like the old initiators would do. They would strip the boy out of the home, and the mothers would act up, ooh, don't take my boy. And they would take the boy off, and they would initiate him into manhood. If that doesn't happen, which for the most part in our culture it doesn't, but it can, you with your sons and me with my sons, it's good to take your sons away from their mother. It's good to get them away from their mother for a little while. Take them on like a boys trip. I've done this with Benjamin. We just all boys camping trip. Now that I live out here in the country, we're going to do a little bit more of it. I'm going to take him. It's just going to be he and I out in the country. We did like a survival trip out in Idaho. Anyway, the point is you can do it, but if it doesn't happen, it'll happen naturally on its own, but often in a perverted way. And this is what Robert Bly described as the young men trying to look ugly for their mother, where there's an animosity starts to grow with the little boy towards his mother because something inside him says, this is not right for me to be this attached to my mom. And so he can become rebellious and not know why, and start like cursing out his mom and like, listening to loud music and pissing her off, right? Doing these things because he's trying to like get away from her. Because if he doesn't, he'll end up like these, it's the strangest thing to see, like these professional athletes, right? Like 6'6", 300-pound basketball player or football player, like these giant, enormous, hulking men who all they love is their mama. Isn't that what Drake said? I don't love you. I love my bed and my mama, right? These are grown men, and the culture tells them that it's okay. Be a mama's boy, right? Oh, mama, I just want to buy you a house. Oh, mama, I want to do everything for you. Oh, mama, don't talk about, and you say anything about their mama. Don't say nothing about my mama. You can talk about mama. You can say anything about anybody you want, but don't say about my mama, right? Big fucking babies. That's not right. It's not good. her husband should be defending her like that. That's a part of the problem with the modern degenerate family, is that when there's no husband, the son becomes the husband, son husbands. And so the son ends up having to defend the mom or take care of the mama. Mama, I'm gonna buy you everything you want. Mama, when I get my NBA contract, I'm gonna buy you a mansion, mama. No, you buy that house for your dad so that he can bring your mom into it. But where's your dad? That's the part of the problem. There's no fucking dads. So, but you're a dad, Justin, and I just went on that little rant there because I thought maybe something I say there is a little resourceful. I'm reading some of your comments. Very cool. So that's it, man. Yeah, you're on the right track. You're doing the right thing. One thing that I just want anybody who's listening to this to understand is that you got to be leery of mama's love. Mama's love can smother. Mama's love can destroy a man. He will forget who he is. I have family members. I have people I see, I know. And I'm like, this young man is damaged because there's too much mommy, not enough daddy. And but it doesn't look like you're going to have that problem, dude. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Yo, it's your bro, Elliott. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, you ought to know that it was a clip from one of my most recent King Transformation classes with my students, where, among other things, we get together about 4 or 5 hours a week and we speak on things as it relates to becoming kings in our lives in fitness, business, and with women. If that sounds like you and you want to join a like-minded group of men who are growing stronger every day, in every way in this degenerate age, then it's real simple. Just follow me on Instagram and then DM me the word King, K-I-N-G, and then me and my team will get back to the details to see if you qualify. I really hope to see you at the next meeting. Done.